Hi, Eric Lanask here. We're at ITEXPO in Las Vegas, and I'm talking with Craig Walker from Uberconference. Craig, great to have you on a show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, we're talking off camera a little bit about kind of those things that make conference calling really, really frustrating and difficult to use. And, that's kind of the whole premise behind what you're doing with Uberconference.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you've found that are really frustrating for users?
You know, the funny thing is they haven't changed in 30 years. It's dialing like some ridiculous access code to get into your call, number one. Number two, when you're on the call, not knowing who's in the room, not knowing who's talking. A lot of conference call providers will give you even like this handy little wallet card so you can actually access their features, like star 72 to mute, star 82 to record. The truth is no one uses any of that stuff because no one remembers to pull this card out of their wallet during the call. So with Uberconference, we really wanted to fix all that. So first of all, there's no pins, no access codes. You just dial a number, you're on the call. Number two is we give you a web address or a URL where you can actually see all the people who are on the call. So you dial into my conference call, we'll show your LinkedIn profile. So I know, hey, that person just joined the call. And if you're talking, we'll put a little speaker up in the corner of your profile saying you're the active speaker. So you don't have to sit there in this kind of like, just this blind room trying to figure out who's talking, who just came, who just went. And then the other thing is once you have everything online, you can then put the features in there. Oh, I want to lock the room so no one else can join. I click the lock button. I want to record it. I click the record button. I want to mute the guy who's on the subway train and it's super loud. I just mute him. So it really makes it so much more powerful and easier all at once.
So you mentioned the guy on the subway train,
yeah.
and in some cases that mobile user may be very loud, in other cases maybe not. Generally speaking, have you found that the ability to join and participate in conference calls increases mobile usage? And that's, I think, very important for the growing mobile workspace that we have today.
Yeah, it definitely does because even though conference calling's been around forever and it's kind of this basic service, right? Put everyone into a room together. Like the minutes continue to go up. Even though there's more and more video conferencing going on, there's still audio is 80% of all conference minutes are audio only. And it's growing, every single year because more and more people are working remotely or working from, remote offices or Starbucks or wherever they're working. And the ability to do that easily from mobile to join. And if you're in your car, like this happened to me just last week. I was calling someone else's conference bridge that a 10-digit PIN, like as if there's that many people sharing this one phone number, but a 10-digit PIN. And literally it's physically, like mentally, cognitively impossible to remember 10 digits and then go back to the dialer and enter them while you're driving. It's physically impossible. So you end up writing it down in your hand, nearly dying. So if you're gonna have more and more remote people doing it, it has to be easier for the remote worker. And if you're traveling, if you're in transit, you gotta just be able to dial a number and get in.
Collaboration. Right?
Yeah.
That's the other big one of the other big buzzwords when it comes to conferencing. What are you seeing in terms of user need, and what are you doing around collaboration?
Yeah, so what we've seen in the past is people would have you'd have your traditional conference calling provider, like say BT Meet Me or Intercall or PGR. These guys would give you the number and the PIN. And then for collaboration, you'd have something else like WebEx or GoToMyPC or GoToMeeting or something like that. Whereas now we can put them all into one. So Uberconference, now that we have this URL that will show you the call on, you can now share any document from Drive or Box or Dropbox or Evernote or your computer with everyone else on the call. And you can also share your screen. So we just launched this a few months ago, but just like how Hangouts let you share your screen, you can pick the app, the window, the whole screen, however you want to do it. And then it's all in one $10 a month bill. You don't need to go have this other antiquated technology married to this other antiquated technology. You can now have one beautiful WebRTC empowered product that does it all.
So you mentioned Hangouts. What is Google Hangouts' place in the conference calling world?
Yeah, so Hangouts is this awesome tool for multi-party video, right? You can have up to 15 people on a video call for free. It's awesome, right? The problem is if you try to schedule that with people at another company who knows what their technical limitations are, who knows whether, and even within your own company, I may not want to be on video, right? Or I may be in transit. I may need to dial into that call.
Right.
So we built an app for Hangouts that runs in the side of Hangouts. And so you can have 15 people on the video call over here, and you can have up to 100 people on the audio portion of it over here. And we'll show you the same information, profiles, who just joined, mute, record, lock, add, all that stuff exists in the little app on the side. So now you've kind of turned Hangouts into like a real business class solution as opposed to this, really fun but multi-party video only solution. And a lot of times you may have more than 15 guys on a call, right? So
Sure.
You're just maxed out on video, so you do need the audio too.
So, one of the arguments that video conferencing providers always make is the tremendous benefit from that visual communication. So now, and some will agree, some will disagree. Basing on the presumption that is correct, that is accurate. Now you're allowing 15 people to do that. What experience do the other up to 100 have?
I think I'd argue that the main value of video conferencing is not to see you, like to see these 10 little, matchbox heads of people sitting there with headphones on, staring at the screen for half an hour. Like, that doesn't provide a ton of value for me. But what it provides the value is knowing who's there, knowing who's talking, and in a perfect world, yes, it would be ideal if every single person can be broadcast in video that's high def, high quality all the time. That's never going to happen. People don't even want it to happen. You're taking a call in the morning, you're in your pajamas. You don't want to be doing that. So anyway, it's you get a ton of all those benefits once you show a visual representation of the call. I know who's on the call. I know who's talking. It's very rare that I spring something on someone in a conference call that I need to see their immediate reaction to, like the who did it. That just doesn't happen that much. So I think you get a lot of the value just by knowing who's there.
What's next as you continue down this path of conferencing disruption?
Yeah, I think the things that we like, we want to be the Uberconference, right? So anything you do in conferencing, we want to be able to do. So very large conferences, like all, like earnings call type things, like town hall type things, where you can have, infinite people listening, and then almost a raise the hand type thing, and then we can bring them into the conference. A lot of stuff that's very still almost manual, like if you've ever called into an earnings report, they have the manual operator there,
Sure.
The analyst from Nomura Securities has a question, and like they do the bridging in and out. All that stuff should be automated, and it could be a lot cheaper and a lot cooler too. So that's one thing we're looking at, and then just international expansion, because it's not just a need in the U.S., it's a need everywhere.
Are there scalability issues involved?
Yes, so we use Google App Engine for our back end, so kind of like infinitely scalable. Our team came from the Google Voice team, so we rolled out to tens of millions of users there. And the idea of capacity goes up, we add more servers, and we provision more resources on the Google App Engine side, and it just scales.
Impressive.
It works pretty well. It's so nice in 2014 to be running a communications startup because you have all this stuff now.
Well, we look forward to seeing Uberconference go global.
Right on.
All right, Craig, thanks so much for joining me here.
Thank you.